Today we will begin placing our facial features on our head. So if you would turn to page 65 and 66 in your sketchbook, we will begin. The first thing I'd like you to do is mark the bottom of the chin and what appears to be the top of the head, and draw a straight line connecting the two dots. And again, these are guidelines, so make it dark enough so you can see it, but you can eventually erase it. Now the placement of the eye line. To avoid an alien, it is extremely important that the eyes go in the correct place. And what I'd like you to do is trust me on this, because it isn't what we normally do. We normally put our eyes in our forehead and then wonder when we get done why it doesn't look real. So on this middle line here, you will notice it is really close to 7 inches. Half of 7 inches is 3.5 inches. Make a mark for 3.5 inches. And then on your head, again, trust me with this measurement. It's not what you would probably normally want to do, but draw a straight line here as well. I'm going to go just slightly outside of my head for a guideline, because we've already learned that a general face is 5 widths across. So laying my ruler here, I'm a little bit under 5. So I'm going to look at my 5-inch measurement and notice that I have a little extra here and just a little extra here. That will help me in measuring. I'm going to measure 1, 2, 3, 4, letting my head be my 5 and my 1. So divide your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. So this is what I call the eye line. And that is the most important line. That's what sets the stage for the remainder of my head. Our next feature will be the bottom of our nose. The bottom of our nose is the bottom quadrant split in half. So in taking my measurement, I have approximately from the midline to the chin about 3.5 inches. So if I divide 3.5, I get 1 3/4. So mark your 3/4 right here. Now our measurements for our lips. The mid of our lips is going to split this space in half. This is probably going to be a little bit of an odd measurement. Well, it's about 1 3/4 inches. So if we were to split that up, it would be a little bit less than 1 inch. Little bit less than 1 inch. And I'm going to put a line that looks like this. Now the general rule for the lips is if we take the middle of our eye, which is right here, and we simply go down, that will give us the outer corner of our lip. I come in here where my eye is and come down. That's going to give me about the width of my lip. And the width of my nose If I go to the tear duct of my eye, my nose will come around out here. If I go down, my nose will come around out here. So now with my placement in, I'm going to begin shading, and I'm going to put a rub in for skin. But prior to doing that, I have not tackled hair at this point. The hairline is the forehead, the eye line, which is so important. We've already learned that. Up to the top of the head. If you measured the half of that, so we have 3.5 inches, half of 3.5 is 1 3/4. So mark that, and that is going to indicate a hairline. So just put a little squiggly. Now there are a few lines that I can erase because I have the measurements down. So I can erase the side line here. I will no longer need that. I can erase the side line here. I can erase the middle. I'm going to leave the middle coming down through here, but I am going to erase it in the nose area, in the forehead area, and also the top of the head. Noticing what I have now is I have a hairline, which is this distance halfway. I'm going to check that to make sure that that is accurate. So 3.5, 1.5. Mine appears just a little bit high. I'm going to drop this down. So again, check your measurements. Check the look of your head. This being a hairline, we will tackle hair a bit later. This being the space for my eyes, this being the bottom of my nose, and this space split the middle of my lips. Now in beginning, my suggestion would be to lay some skin down while you have no other features. So in doing this, you can actually start up here and render. This is not actually a hairstyle, but it's the attempt of getting some lead on my paper so that I can get some lead on my paper towel. And put some skin. Now I realize that the paper is yellow. And you can render. You also, if you wish, and you don't mind getting your book a little dirty there, you can rub there. And to give it soft skin, going in a circular motion is best. Also, before we get too much started, I'm going to suggest that you put some dark shade here, right on the side of the neck, underneath the chin slightly. And what that does for you is it makes it look as though your face is not outlined. I'm then going to rub it and fan it out a bit. Just a way to give your neck or your face kind of pop out from the page. I'm going to quickly show you now, without drawing with much detail. With my line and my marking here, I can then begin with my features. I could start with my lips if I wanted to. Remembering that we do not overdraw on the nose, but instead the nose is done with a lot of blending. But in fact, I would probably choose to go with my eyes first. So with my markings here, and this is what I would suggest you do because your arm tends to rub over the bottom. We know to put the tear duct hook there. We know that that's where that's going to go. And begin with your template and putting your eyes in. Your goal is to get those circles the absolute closest as possible in shape and size. Sometimes that thin. Now putting the pupil in, find a circle. What I like about this template is that I can see through it and see that I get my, I'm going to use the same one. I'm going to slide it over here. Putting my shine oval in the same spot of the eye. And now, with my tear duct, I know that this is a very small little curve here. I often now will cut my eyeball. Small curve. And get my eyes placed in there. Erase then, put all of the edges and the ridges and erase. I also know that above that eye, there is an eyelid. We want that on there before we do lashes. We also know that there is an eyebrow. And so from this point, knowing the placement of the eyes, knowing the placement of where then to put the nose and the mouth, all the features other than the hair, I would like you to complete this face. I did notice that I forgot one thing, and that is ears. Ears come inside the face. The top of the ear is about even with the eye. My question mark goes down, and believe it or not, it is as long as the nose here. So again, it comes into the face, comes up, it's a question mark, and it comes so again, it's The top of the ear is the eye. The top of the ear, I'm a little bit higher here. Erase that. So top of my eye is top of my ear. Come down, bottom. So that demonstrates facial feature placement. Keep in mind, we all have individualized faces. So these are just basic generic rules. And we will tackle the hair comes down here. The hair comes down here. You're going to be tempted to put a hairstyle in. We will be talking later about actually drawing the shape of the head ourselves and a variety of hairstyles. But to complete page 66, if you would put all the features we've learned this far and shade them and detail them.